Hey everybody, Rob Hill here with Total Wine & More, and with me is Spike Buckowski, the brewmaster at Terrapin Beer Company in Athens, Georgia. Spike, good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So share with us what your inspiration was for getting into beer.
Man, would that be my cheapness? No, I mean, it was an interesting story because I had a great college roommate, and he moved out to the West Coast. So moved up to Atlanta. I had a fraternity brother there, and I still kept in really good contact with my college roommate. So we were talking on the phone one day, and he's like, "Hey, Spike, did you ever try home brewing?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Home brewing, making beer at home." I'm like, "No." And he goes, "You should really, check it out. It's a great hobby, blah, blah, blah." So I had just happened to move into a house with a basement that had really nice temperature control down there. So I started brewing, really enjoyed the hobby, started taking a couple medals home, and at that time I was wearing a suit and tie, going to work every day, and didn't really like my job. So it was funny because I'd go into these managers meetings and open my briefcase up, and that's all that was in them was like home brewing books and how to brew and all this kind of stuff. So the company got acquired, and with it came this human resources department. So I asked for a leave of absence. Went to brewing school in ~96, became a professional brewer in '97. It's a story of passion and love and creativity and, building a brand. I had this little idea of a rye pale ale, and it came out in 2002. We won Best Pale Ale in the country at the GABF.
Fantastic brew, I've had it.
Thank you. And, all these years later, and probably 45, 50 beers under my belt, it's still a hobby to me, and I'm passionate about it. I love what I do, and it's a no-brainer. When you fall in love with what you do, it's easy to get up every morning and go to work.
So if you had a word of advice for all the other people who are sitting in some job that they don't like, but they have a passion, whether it's brewing or something else, what should they do about it?
Absolutely. Carpe diem. I mean, go out there, seize it, do what you love to do, and get paid for it.
And you brew the beers that you want to drink, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I do, and I'm hoping that the beers that I brew, I'm hoping people enjoy as well.
So how do you think of recipes?
Man, sometimes the name comes first, sometimes the beer comes first, sometimes the image on the bottle comes first, so you have all these different things going on, but basically how I approach a recipe, let's just say we're doing an IPA, because it's a hot style, right? So I would read the classic styles of IPA and how they were brewed and all that, and I just always put a little Terrapin twist on it and brew it and make it my own. So I think, going back in history and learning how these guys put these recipes together and why they did that is really exciting. But then just to, Americans, man, we always want it bigger, better, all that. So just to put the Terrapin twist on it and brew it my way is what I enjoy to do.
So the rye ingredient, you might have been on the leading edge of not only putting it into the mix, but advertising the beer as such.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of crazy because back then in 2002, I don't think there was many rye beers. And, I started experimenting with rye because in college I drank a lot of Jim Beam before we went out and just fell in love with the taste of rye. Down in the South in 2002, there were no aggressive beers. Right. So when people said, "Hey, what type of beer are you going to make?" I'm like, "I'm going to make a nice West Coast hoppy pale ale." And they're like, "No one's going to drink that down south." So when I started formulating my recipe, I'm like, well, how can I make this beer a smooth, easy drinking, hoppy beer? Because that was the problem. People didn't like the big bitterness of the hops, that kind of sat on your palate. So when I formulated the rye recipe, I incorporated 10% rye, and then I used hops that didn't have that long, lingering bitterness. They call low cohumulone hops. And just formulated this rye recipe, started brewing it in my basement, and then launched.
So it adds that right spice kick to the
little
hop.
spice, a little bit of cleanliness on the palate, kind of cleans your palate up a little bit. And the funny thing is now it's like, in 2002, it was this big, aggressive, scary beer, and now it's just like this little rye pale ale, so it's totally different now, which is great because, palates are changing, people are loving flavors. You see it every day that the whole food movement is back, farm to table, people enjoying cheeses and wines and beers, and it's just great. It's great to see. It's a great movement.
So the side project.
The side projects, yeah.
Where's that going to take us? Any end to that?
Well, with my ADHD, I doubt it. I mean, we just came out, Side Project 19, we just came out with a beer called Mosaic. And it was a brand new hop. that was just introduced, and I basically did this red rye beer and did 100% mosaic hop. So, you know, we love the side project stuff. I mean, we came out with a chocolate peanut butter porter. You know, I've done a Rogan Rausch beer. I've done, you know, stouts and porters and all this kind of really off the beaten path type of beers that we add special ingredients to. And that's another thing we love to do is play with local ingredients. I've used local honey from Savannah Bee Company. I've used chocolate from Olive and Sinclair, a chocolatier up in Nashville, Tennessee. Our hometown favorite, we do a stout called Wake and Bake, and we use real coffee, well, you know, great coffee from Jittery Joe's. So we try to source local and team up with other great purveyors of great food. So it's fun. It's a great business, and you know, just being able to create these things is really exciting.
Well, it's fantastic. I'm really excited for you that you found your niche. Great talking with you.
Thanks so much. Cheers.